Thank you for tuning in to Words of Woods. I'm your host, T. Woods. Here with me today, I have one of Ohio's best up-and-coming motivational speakers. I would like to welcome Nate Jameson.
Appreciate you for having me, bro.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. I can't complain not one bit. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on this platform with you, bro. This video is for anybody building something special. So whether it's a career, a job, a business, just building something special, I want you to remember that you cannot stop believing, all right? This is a quote that I live by. Science says, if you show me, then I'll believe it. But faith says, if I believe it, then I'll show you. You cannot stop believing in whatever it is that you want to get done. And the hardest part about faith and believing is that you have to believe in things that you cannot see. But what we do know is that if you have it in your heart, if God gave you it in your heart, the vision, the imagination, the dream, something that you want to fulfill, that means that you're going to get it. Albert Einstein also said, imagination is everything. Right? Your imagination is your preview to life's coming attractions. That means that whatever you dream of, whatever you believe in, is going to come to fruition. Do not stop believing. Remember, faith is everything. Faith is your vehicle to success. I love you all. I pray you guys keep building whatever you're building. Have a blessed day.
For people who don't know you, tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how was your upbringing?
I'm born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. So I'm from the Brittenell area specifically. I grew up in Douglas Elementary. I went to Arts Impact Middle School. Northland High School for my first 2 years, and then Eastmore Academy for my last 2 years. Pretty much raised in the whole Brittenell area for my entire life. That's where I learned a lot of things that helped me become who I am. So yeah, I would say Brittenell.
So what are some things that you learned, growing up in that area?
I think I learned early on who I didn't want to be as opposed to who I wanted to be. So before I really found out who I wanted to be as a human being and what kind of impact I wanted to make, I was watching dudes around me make moves that I knew weren't going to get them to the next level or weren't necessarily good things. So seeing, people do some negative things at an early age kind of made me go a different path. So just learning kind of what not to do at an early age.
I feel like, separating yourself from the pack, Some people go this way, some people go this way. And that's like, you probably have friends, growing up who, kind of were getting into things, probably didn't interest you. So growing up, what are some things that did interest you?
Sports. Basketball, football, mainly basketball though. I was playing basketball since I was like literally third grade up until my freshman year of college. So sports was my main thing. Before I started speaking, all I did was play basketball. So if it wasn't, lifting weights or something, I was in the gym hooping. If I was at the center or playing AAU or in a community, basketball was pretty much my main thing.
All right, so you do motivational speaking, but you played sports. And I believe that, playing sports, you kind of learn a little bit of things about yourself. You learn things in life, whether that's to your coaches, your teammates. What are some things that you learned in sports that kind of helped you now on today?
Definitely persistency and how hard you have to work to get to that next level. If you think about all the people, especially people that we know that we were close with or that we saw come up and make it to that next level, you saw the work that they put in to get to that next level, whether it's waking up early in the morning or staying later in the gym or getting in extra work in the weight room. You just saw the amount of work that people put in who make it to that next level. So when I was my freshman year at Northland, Trey Burke was a senior. So I got to firsthand see him take his game from, because I think at the time he had committed to Penn State and he decommitted and ended up signing with Michigan. But I saw what he was doing those early mornings, getting up shots, lifting weights, running.
Putting in that
and
work.
It translates directly to the court once he gets to the court. So, seeing people firsthand take their game to the next level is like in every aspect of life. You got to put in extra work. You have to go the extra mile if you want to get to the next level.
I definitely believe that. So, obviously, basketball kind of didn't work out for you, unfortunately. It didn't work out for me either.
Yeah.
But, you do motivational speaking. So how'd you get into that?
Man, it was a journey. I would have to say it started my senior year of high school. I was asked to do our senior breakfast speech. So I didn't want to do it, but one of the teachers at the school was like, Nate, I think you'll be great for this. I was like, oh my gosh, I'll do it anyway. So I gave the speech and I did very good at the speech and I felt kind of just propelled. I felt greater on the inside. I felt like this was something that I could do often, give speeches and speak in front of people. And so from that point forward, I started listening to motivational speeches on YouTube. And so it's kind of a string of things. I'll go down the list. So as I was listening to these motivational speeches, Les Brown, who was like the world's top speaker, was a name that I told my family I was listening to. I'm like, hey, I'm listening to this guy, Les Brown. He's impacting me. And my grandmother told me, like, I used to live with Les when he was here. You know, we stayed together. I know him personally, and I believe in God. So I was like, okay, that's sign number one. God is showing me something. I said, that's sign number one. Number two was when I got in front of people, because I started volunteering and just using my voices, whether it was at a rec center or a summer camp for free, just to impact the young people. I saw the impact that I was making. So I saw that they were actually inspired from the things that I was saying. And so it just started to line up, and I felt like, you know, that's what God had placed me on this earth to do. My mentor at the time invited me to church. I wasn't really big in the church growing up. You know, I never really went. But my mentor invited me and some other of my friends from senior year to church. We went to church, and I got closer to God, and I felt like that was my God-given gift. So I just used it to help, you know, inspire people, man.
Man, that's dope. You definitely got to pay attention to those signs, man, because those signs will definitely tell you what you need to do, what direction you need to be in.
That's a fact.
So you said, you know, Les Brown, you know, he was a person that, you know, you kind of connected with, you know, and, you know, through family, you knew that person. Who are some people that you look up to, you know, who are motivational speakers, or some people that, you know, you kind of learned from, you know, doing what you do?
Good question. Definitely Bishop T.D. Jakes. I listen to Bishop T.D. Jakes almost every single day.
I feel like he always, you know, when I listen to his, you know, stuff on YouTube, and I watch his stuff on YouTube, some of his services, it feels like everything that he says at the moment is what I needed to hear at the right time.
Yes. Bishop T.D. Jakes is amazing. I actually saw him last summer at that same church that my mentor invited me to. He'll be back this summer at that same church. But him, Joel Osteen, are you familiar with Joel Osteen?
No, I'm not familiar with him.
So he has like a mega church in Houston, Texas, and he has a lot of sermons on YouTube that I listen to. I pull a lot of motivation from different places. So if it's not from like Christians or gospel, I pull from music. So I listen to a lot of what I call motivational music. I felt like Nipsey Hussle was a motivational artist.
Rest in peace to Nipsey.
Rest in peace, Nipsey. It's crazy. That's a whole nother topic. J. Cole, Kendrick, Dave East, 50 Cent, and guys who kind of translated from the hip hop community over to business, which is something I believe in a lot. So, you know, you can pull motivation from anywhere, wherever it connects with you at. So
no, definitely. So you said 50 Cent, you know, in the realm with like J. Cole's and, you know, Kendrick's. Why 50 Cent though?
I would say because he's super business savvy. And 50 Cent, if you think about it, he hasn't had to pretty much compromise who he is to still advance in the business world. So he can be the goofy, playful, childish 50 Cent.
He doesn't care.
He don't care. He pretty much doesn't have a filter, but he's still getting deals, multi-million-dollar deals. He's got the hit TV show Power, which a lot of people watch. And he has a lot of other things that he's working on. So I like the fact that he's able to still be himself and still, you know, garner attention in the business community as well as the hip hop world.
So, you know, you said you had to do a toast, or, you know, you had to talk in front of your senior class, correct? You were nervous, or you obviously were nervous. So do you ever get nervous now, you know, when you speak in front of people?
You will influence 50 to 250,000 people. That's without even trying. So that's the most quiet, you know, non-confrontational person in the room. 50 to 250,000 people. Influence. How are you guys being influenced? You know how you can control your influence? You control what you listen to. You control what you watch. You control the conversations you have. So I do get nervous like the morning of, I would say. And it's hard for me to eat before I speak, which is kind of ties into my nerves, I guess. But once I begin speaking, the nerves are pretty much.
So what are some things you do to calm your nerves or anything?
I like to listen to Tupac. I love Tupac. He's probably my favorite artist of all time, Tupac. Because to me, he has a lot of confidence building music. So listening to music that builds up my confidence, that helps me overcome my fears, and just, you know, understanding that if you make mistakes, it is what it is. Everybody makes mistakes, and you just learn from it, grow from it, and move on.
How important is confidence, you know, because a lot of people struggle with confidence, and a lot of people don't know that confidence is that one thing that's stopping you from getting that step closer to wherever you need to be. So how important is being a confident person?
Confidence is everything. Confidence is probably top 3 biggest things that you need when it comes to achieving success and achieving your goals. And people probably looked at me crazy, but early on when I started speaking in like 2014, I knew that I was good, but a lot of people didn't know who I was. And I told myself, I said, you're the top speaker in the state. I called myself Ohio's top speaker. People probably looked at me crazy. They probably said this dude is nuts. But I had to program myself to believe that so that my work ethic tied into what I was saying I was. So you have to have confidence in whatever it is you do. So if it's, managing a grocery store, owning a barbershop, pursuing a business degree, opening a business, becoming a speaker, becoming a police officer, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. And what happens is when you believe in yourself, people start to believe in you because they see how focused and committed you are to the dream. Mm-hmm. So confidence is necessary.
You definitely got to speak some things into existence. Yes. Sometimes. Where are some places that you spoke at? What are some of the, where was your, where was the very first place besides, your senior class? Where was your very first place? Hey, Nate, we want you to come in. We want you to talk in front of all these people. Can you remember your very first time speaking?
When somebody reached out to me, wanted me? Oh, wow. I would probably say, wow, that's a good question. Maybe, I'm not sure. I did this conference and it was pretty big. The mayor was there. Mayor Coleman was there. I did a conference with him and it was like a meeting, like a lunch meeting conference type thing for the minority transportation officials, which is like a group that they have from COTA. And they needed somebody to speak. And I ended up getting, reached out to, and I think that might have been my first paid gig that I did, and just built from there.
Isn't it a blessing when you get paid to do what you do, man?
Yes.
So what are some of your favorite, was that one of your favorite places that you spoke at, or what was your favorite place?
Absolutely. That was probably top 3 of my favorite places, large part because my mentor was in the audience and I didn't even know that she was going to be there, but it was tied to a scholarship organization. So she was there with some kids and I got to speak about how she's personally impacted my life. So speaking there, I spoke here at Wright State for, and shout out to Black Men on the Move, they brought me in. I spoke there, which was pretty fun. My mom got to come and hear me speak, which was pretty cool.
You said your mentor. Who's your mentor? Give her a quick shout out.
Hey, Marseille Waddell. Miss Waddell, I love you to death. I thank you for all that you have done for me. She believed in me way before even my mom was believing in this speaking thing. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a quick little story, okay? Right, I know this is kind of off topic.
You good.
When I transferred into Eastmore in 2012, I had her class, okay, for PowerPoint. So we were doing presentations. We had to give presentations in front of the class and stuff. And I walked in, I was dressed up, but I was super goofy. So I was smart, but I was super, super goofy. And she stopped me and she was like, young man, stop. And I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. She was like, stop. She was like, you have a presence about you. When you walk into a room, you demand attention. She was like, I don't know what it is, but you have a gift when you're in front of people. And I didn't know what she was talking about. I'm like,
what are you talking about?
Tripping. She kind of cuckoo because I'm thinking basketball is my thing.
Yeah.
And so she saw that in me before I saw it in myself, and she's believed in me. She's invested in me. She's helped me get opportunities with speaking. So she's literally been like a second mother in my life, and I love her to death for that.
That's definitely dope. I'm pretty sure she's a good woman.
Yes.
So what are some things that you want people to learn, when you speak, when you talk to them? What are some main things that, when a person leaves from hearing you talk, something that they can remember, in the car, at home, something that really sticks in their mind? What would that be?
One of the main things that I always try to tie into whatever I'm talking about is the fact that God created each and every one of us with gifts. So when you were born, you were given a gift, which is something that you do naturally well, right? It doesn't come hard for you to do. And the Bible tells us your gift will make room. So what I try to tell people is identify what your gift is. What are you gifted at? And it can be different from whatever your friends is gifted at, and that's okay. Identify your gift. Run with it, build a business from it, display it to the world, and like God promised you, it's going to make room. So just identify what it is you're gifted at, even if people talk about you, even if people tell you it's stupid, even if people laugh at you. As long as you identify the gift, know that you have God's approval, and you'll be fine.
So do you believe that you found your purpose in life?
Absolutely.
And why is that?
I get a sense of fulfillment. When I speak to people, I know that I'm able to help people, inspire them, while at the same time spreading God's glory and how much he's done for my life personally. it doesn't come hard for me. Speaking isn't hard for me, and I enjoy it. So I could be cranky that morning, but when I go to speak, I change into somebody else. So, you know, I get fulfillment from whatever I do, and it never feels like work. Never.
Definitely, that's how you know you really need to do what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see yourself 5-10 years from now? You know, as a brand, as a person, as a speaker, where do you see yourself in the growth that you want to make?
In 5 to 10 years, I plan on being the top speaker in the world. I plan on getting booked all across the country, globally, to do speaking engagements, conferences. I'll have multiple books written. By the grace of God, I'll have found a wife, and we'll be building together.
You and me both.
Yeah, man. So just building different platforms to inspire people, organizations, possibly rec centers for the underprivileged kids, speaking, empowering, and just letting God, you know, use me to be a vessel to help inspire other people, man.
That's definitely dope, man. Best of luck to you. Where can people follow you out on social media in case they need some words of wisdom? My
Instagram is Nate, Natejameson Speaks, SPEAKS. That's my IG. I do not have Twitter. I don't really get on Snapchat like that. I mean, I post on it, but my main thing is Instagram. So Natejamesonspeaks is my Instagram where people can follow me at.
Definitely appreciate you for coming through Words of Wisdom today.
Thanks
Best of luck to you. I can already tell you're going to be successful, man.
Thank you, my brother.
Vision. Gifts. You are beautiful just the way you are.
You are beautiful just the way you are.
I'm a promise.
I'm powerful.
Let's do it one more time. Come on.
Vision.
Your gifts are your strengths.
Your gifts are your strengths.